He's already prepared. He's not even
Before he comes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming for this class. This class will be on the book of Nectar Instruction. It's a book by the Swami Rupa Goswami, who founded the Bhakti Yoga and made various explanations on it. And today we'll be having this talk by His Grace Vishal Prabhu. Vishal Prabhu Ki Jai. He's one of the resident monks here that stays here, and he'll be explaining more on text 2 in one of the paragraphs. So he'll explain a little bit more, and you get a little bit more insight into the spiritual Vedic wisdom. I just humbly request for those who are still talking to just take your conversations outside. And also, if you can face this way to the speaker, then you give him your full attention, you know. So yeah, if everybody just, as much as possible, to listen and pay attention. Thank you very much.
Not me. He said he put it in my locker. Yeah. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for coming here. So, as Dev Rishi Prabhu said, we'll be having a class on the nectar of instruction. And but we'll first start with the kirtan. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Bhagwan ki, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki. Jai. Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak on the nectar of instruction today. It's mainly for my own benefit, because they say that when you speak something, you learn things much better. So hopefully I might learn something. And hopefully that all of you may also benefit from this talk. Just before we begin, we'll just do some prayers as to invoke some auspiciousness. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So just recite the verses on the screen, and if you like, you can repeat after me. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha lolyam cha shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha lolyam cha shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati. Anyone brave to try it out? Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha lolyam cha shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyam agraha janasangascha lolyam cha shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati. Anyone else? We go for the word translation. Atihara, overeating or too much collecting. Prayasha, over endeavoring. Cha, and. Prajalpa, idle talking. Niyama, rules and regulations. Agraha, too much attachment. Or agraha, too much neglect of. Janasangaha, association with worldly minded persons. Cha, and. Lolyam, ardent longing or greed. Cha, and. Shadbhi, by these 6. Bhakti, devotional service. Vinashyati, is destroyed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. One's devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in the following 6 activities: eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than necessary. Number 2, over endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. Number 3, talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters. Number 4, practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically. Number 5, associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. And 6, being greedy for mundane achievements, So we're reading from paragraphs 19 and 20 of the Nectar of Instruction. 19 and 20, yeah. Yeah, it's so it starts with modern warfare waged between. If you press Control F and search it. So I'll just carry on reading. It's towards the end. Yeah. So just bear with me. I'll just carry on reading. Modern warfare waged between capitalists and communists is due to their avoiding the advice of Srila Rupa Goswami regarding atyahara. Modern capitalists accumulate more wealth than necessary, and the communists, envious of their prosperity, want to nationalize all wealth and property. Unfortunately, the communists do not know how to solve the problem of wealth and its distribution. Consequently, when the wealth of the capitalists falls into the hands of the communists, no solution results. Opposed to these two philosophies, the Krishna conscious ideology states that all the wealth belongs to Krishna. Thus, unless all wealth comes under the administration of Krishna, there can be no solution to the economic problem of mankind. Nothing can be solved by placing wealth in the hands of the communists or the capitalists. If $100 bill is lying on the street, someone may pick it up and put it in his pocket. Such a man is not honest. Another man may see that money and decide to let it remain there, thinking that he should not touch another's property. Although this second man does not steal the money for his own purpose, he is unaware of its proper use. The third man who sees the $100 bill may pick it up, find the man who lost it, and deliver it to him. This man does not steal the money to spend for himself, nor does he neglect it, and lets it lie in the street. By taking it and delivering it to the man who has lost it, this man is both honest and wise. Simply transferring wealth from capitalists to communists cannot solve the problem of modern politics. For it has been demonstrated that when a communist gets money, he uses it for his own sense gratification. The wealth of the world actually belongs to Krishna, and every living entity, man and animal, has the birthright to use God's property for his maintenance. When one takes more than his maintenance requires, be he a capitalist or a communist, he is a thief. And as such, he is liable to be punished by the laws of nature. Hare Krishna. So this might be a little bit controversial class, talking about politics, but I won't try to go too much into the details, any political ideas. Everyone has their own views. So the principle here, what it's talking about, is the principle of atyahara, over collecting more funds than required for one's basic necessities of life. Oftentimes we are spending so much money to impress people who we don't even like. This is a famous quote from Instagram. So we are exploiting the resources of material nature so much for our sense enjoyment. So much clothes, so much industrial resources are being exploited from the planet. Practically, if you go to any high street, you'll only find items that people require for their own sense pleasure. Clothing, food, just to kind of bolster our sense of ego, like that. Because yes, we're all looking for happiness in some form or other, and many of us look for happiness on the bodily concept of life. We may do dress nicely because ultimately everyone is looking for happiness, so compliments do make one happy, and how we are viewed in society, etc. There's some happiness there. But ultimately, the happiness that can only fulfill the living entity is something much deeper, the happiness on the level of the soul. Because ultimately, this body is just like a cage. You may have a parrot in a cage, but if you spend so much time polishing the cage, making it look so nice, polishing it every day, looking after the cage, maybe it's even a gold cage, etc. But the main purpose of having the human body, the cage, is so that you can ultimately look after the soul and also to feed the soul. So what will happen to the parrot inside the cage if it's not looked after properly? If only the shell is looked after, the parrot will be malnourished, and slowly it will it will die. So obviously the soul is eternal, it doesn't die, but the idea is that you will not find spiritual rejuvenation, and thus, because the soul is actually who you are, you will not find happiness if you don't focus on the soul. And yes, there are many ways in society. As a society, we try to look for happiness in the world. Individually, we may try to build up our knowledge, our beauty, fame, prestige, many talents, etc., like that. We may even do something beyond ourselves. We may like to serve our family members because serving family makes one happy. And this may extend to the level of our community and our society and to our country, and serving our country to serving the world, etc. So to serve means to please. To love means to serve, and to serve means to please. So we all have this innate desire within us to serve someone. We all want to please someone. As George Harrison famously said, all you need is love. If we look at all the activities that anyone may do in life, ultimately, if you trace back the roots to why are you doing this, why are you doing that, whether it's opening a bakery or opening a hospital, etc., then if you trace back the reasons why, it ultimately comes to the basis of it is that we either want to experience love or we want to give love to others in many different forms. So we're all trying to love one another in some way or other. Now the problem is so we're all trying to find love and to experience love and find someone to serve, but we may not get that reciprocation in return, that we're looking for happiness in places where we may not actually find happiness. So how much food can we eat? Because food makes you happy, but how much food can we eat? How much paneer sabji can we eat before we end up having a problem? And or how much, nowadays, obviously, in the Western world, drinking is not much in India, but drinking here is a big problem. So many people are looking for a buzz, So we're looking for a buzz in some way. For example, drinking, drugs. There's even a new drug called, it's a hospital drug. It's called I forgot the name. Phantomite, I think. Can't remember the exact name. But it's so strong that you can actually die from it just by taking it. But people can't, because people are looking to experience something more to life than just what they're experiencing, they're going to such extreme extents to experience this, to even risk their own lives. They know they're going to die after taking it, but they still take it. So it shows, we're looking for something more to life. So we may try to find happiness through serving our friends, family, society, community, and our society. And this verse talks a bit about politics, so I'll try to touch on that. And so in society, we all try to look for a leader, some system that we can follow, some ideology, some system that will help us to find the optimum level of happiness, right? So, but the only problem is that the systems or the leaders may come up with many ideas to serve the community, serve the people. However, the leader is imperfect by nature, and the risk is that the leader can be a cheater, right? So that means that the followers end up becoming cheated. They become misled. And I'm sure this has happened a lot. Many ideologies throughout time made by some man. And so the problem is that following a system made by man means there's always going to be some defects. And there's 4 defects that humans have. And one of them is the tendency to cheat. We all may lie, we all may deceive others. And another is that we have a tendency to fall into illusion. We become bewildered by things. We may not see things as they are because our mind can actually distort things from what it really is. So we're living in the bubble of our mind so much that we forget, we can't see the world as it is. We don't see there's so much dust in our mind that we don't tend to see. So because our mind is so broken like that, so we have a false perception of the world oftentimes. And therefore we have imperfect senses, and we can commit mistakes like that. So through these senses, we're trying to acquire knowledge, we're trying to figure out the world, we're trying to use our intelligence to find some answers in life, find some solutions to different problems, personal or for other people. But however, unfortunately, our mind, our intelligence are limited, So the knowledge that we may acquire from our mind and senses, they are limited. And limited to our experience, limited to many things like that. So oftentimes we're left just wondering, maybe this is the answer, maybe this is the answer. And we're just trying so hard to find some answer. And so this process of getting knowledge in the world is called ascending knowledge. We're trying to figure things out. Scientists are trying to figure out the solution to so many problems like that, trying to find happiness. And the goal of trying to acquire knowledge, ultimately they want to be happy. It's not just for the sake of scientific development and all these things. There's some goal to it. Everyone is looking for happiness like that. So in their pursuits to find happiness, many people may come up with many ideologies which they are convinced that this might bring them happiness. For example, communism in the more recent days, or capitalism, nationalism, socialism, and all these different type of isms like that, which are all coming from someone's idea, someone's concoction, someone just came up with, and they think it's going to be good. And the crazy thing is, they're so convinced that yes, this is the best thing for people, not understanding they have such a limited perception of the world. How can they have the audacity to think that they have the answer to solutions like that? So that's could be due to ego, arrogance, like that. Ultimately, politics may not make you happy, may not solve all those problems in the world. So people are making all these different ideas. And however, the problem is that they're not touching on the most key aspects to find our happiness, which is understanding that happiness doesn't come from material things, but happiness comes from something spiritual. Because we're all spiritual beings in a body, having a human experience. So we're not these bodies, but we're using these bodies to interact with this world. Just like if I asked you, are you your eyes, or are you seeing through your eyes? What would you say? Are you your eyes, or are you seeing through the eyes? Seeing through the eyes, right? So are you your ears, or are you hearing through your ears? Or are you your skin, or are you feeling the world through the skin? So yeah, unfortunately, but we get so identified thinking that this is who I am, this body, this machine is who I am. Rather, the Vedic scriptures, Krishna is teaching us, no. There's a soul, and that's who you are within the body. Like that, just like there's a car, someone is driving a car, and you're not the car, but you're the person driving the car. It would be crazy to think that you are that car. So like that, we're not this body, right? So without addressing the needs of the soul, there will be no real happiness. And spiritual knowledge is clearly explained in the Bhagavad Gita by Krishna himself, who is the supreme personality of Godhead, who is free from all tendency to be illusioned. He's not going to cheat you. He's not going to lie to you. He's not prone to committing mistakes. So if we don't accept Krishna as a leader, then we will likely to be cheated by other leaders who may be misleading us. Like that, therefore, we accept the Vedic knowledge, which is descending knowledge. It is not knowledge that somehow someone came up with research. And this is knowledge that's coming from Krishna himself and his representatives, who are perfect because they're connected to Krishna. And therefore we should follow, if we're wise, we should follow the teachings of Krishna. And like that. So we must always question who we hear from. We should challenge. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is actually so humble. He speaks the whole of the Bhagavad Gita to to Arjuna, 700 verses altogether. And then, after giving me all the advice, all the knowledge, Krishna says, Ittita jnanam akyatam guyat guyataram maya vimrasheta dasheshena yathachasi tatha kuru. Krishna says, I have given you the most confidential knowledge, the secret of all secrets. Now do as you wish to do. Deliberate on it, think about it, challenge it, scrutinize it, and do what you wish to do. Krishna never says you have to do it. He doesn't say surrender your intelligence. Rather, it's about using your intelligence to question and challenge what is being said, even by God himself. You should challenge it, you should question it to understand. We shouldn't surrender our intelligence, but we should surrender using our intelligence. But the problem is, in society, we're surrendering to all sorts of ideologies, like that. So it is very important that we hear from the Bhagavad Gita and try to follow the instructions. And Prabhupada says that, one of his quotes, a common man with all the 4 defects of human frailty is unable to teach that which is worth hearing. So if we want to hear the highest knowledge, we should always hear from parampara, from the Vedic scriptures, like that, regarding spiritual topics. and if we want to find happiness like that. So ultimately, politics is materialistic, and therefore it cannot bring you spiritual happiness. Earlier on the Nectar of Instruction, it speaks about a person who is Mahatma. Mahatma Gandhi, you've heard the word, I'm sure. So Mahatma means someone who's a great soul. Mahatma can also be translated as someone who has a broad mind, someone who's broad-mindedness, and someone whose mind isn't so crippled. And a difference between a broad mind and a crippled mind is that a crippled mind is always thinking about himself. He's selfish in one sense. He's only thinking about his senses, how I can satisfy my own senses, even if it means at the exploitation of somebody else, using others for your own gain, using things for my own pleasure and for our sense gratification, like that. So there are many people who are also doing good for others, right? So they're not doing things for themselves, right? They want to do what is good for others, what is right, what is moral. And this is by nature we have this propensity to love and serve others. So, and they may even sacrifice their own health for their family members, like that, and try to serve others, serve their country, serve their employee, like that, family, community, or society, and they try all sorts of ways to serve in that way. And try many political ideas, many types of isms, nationalism, philanthropy, humanitarianism, serving the world, and altruism. So all these things, they sound good. They're good from a materialistic point of view. So, but yeah, you can serve your family, friends, society, community, but ultimately it has no value in the spiritual sense. Materially, yes, there is value, but spiritually, for the most ultimate benefit, there is no value if that's the end of our goal of life. Dharma, artha, kama, but there's no end goal. It's all economic development, happiness of my senses, happiness of my friends, family, and community. It's all about my body, it's all about my friends, it's all about my society, it's all about my country, my football team, my religion, my planet, mine. See the problem here? So it's all evolved around me. So is that really broad-mindedness? Is that really thinking beyond? Because it's still fixated on the idea of me, mine, and I. So to be broad-minded is a person, someone who is transcendent this false identity of me, mine, and like that. So these identities are there, but the Bhagavad Gita describes that these are our false identities, right? So, and that we have a real identity, which is the soul, which is Krishna says, Mameva angsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanam. All living entities are parts and parcels of these fragmental parts of me. So we all have a connection with Krishna. So to actually get the ultimate benefit, we need to extend our breadth of our service attitude, our love towards the Supreme Being, the original being, Govindam Adipurusham. Sarva Karana Karanam, original source of all existence. So we need to connect and serve that person to get the ultimate result of our service. Because yes, we may serve many others, but we will not get anything in return, spiritually. But if we serve Krishna, then everything is perfect, like that. So such a person is called broad-mindedness, has a broad mind. And yeah, so the problem with neglecting Krishna, neglecting spiritual activities, is like trying to save sometimes someone may be drowning in an ocean, and you want to be a hero, you jump into the ocean, and but you only save the person's clothes. It's like, what are you doing? You didn't save the person. No, but I saved his clothes. What value does that have? So this is like a analogy to explain how the clothes are like the body, but the soul is still drowning in this ocean of material existence, which is full of janma, mrityu, jara and vyadi, birth, old age, disease and death. So these are actually the real problems of life. These are the real problems of life. But we're so focused on, we're seeing things from such a temporary vision. Therefore, to be really broad-minded, we need to expand our vision to the vision of eternity, to think about the soul and its ultimate destination. See, we're like fish out of water. So we want to go back into the water, which is the spiritual world. We're spiritual beings, but we're having a material experience, in a material body, completely incompatible. So therefore, we need to find a spiritual reservoir. And one definition of Ram is a reservoir of all happiness, ocean of pleasure, like that. And Krishna means the source of all attractiveness, the most attractive. So this way we can really fulfill the desires of our souls. And like that. And this is actually the greater goal of human life. It's not to become a nationalist. It's not to become a capitalist. It's not to become a Hare Krishna. It's not to become a Muslim, Christian, this or that or that. But it's ultimately to develop love for God and to go back home, back to Godhead. And one occasion, Srila Prabhupada, this is when Srila Prabhupada, when he was 24 years old, and he had a big medical company, medical business. He was very successful materially. And Srila Prabhupada, he grew up in a Vaishnava family, so he knew about the philosophy, he knew about all this naturally. And one day his friend came to his office, Abhay, his name was Abhay Charan. Abhay, come, we have this one great sadhu has come nearby, and he's giving an amazing talk. You're an intelligent guy. You can figure out if he's for real or if he's not. Can you at least tell us your opinion? Like that. So, and Abhay was like, no, I've met all these sadhus so many times. They come to my house all the time. I'm not impressed. And then finally they managed to drag him to the talk. Come, it's just for 5 minutes. And so Abhay, he went. And soon as he walked into the lecture, Bhaktivedanta was giving the talk. And never met the guy before. He points to him and says, you, why didn't you take this message of Krishna consciousness all over the world? You're a young, intelligent young man. Like that. Then Abhay replied, so this is at the time of 1900s, British Raj was happening. And Prabhupada was a Gandhi follower, Mahatma Gandhi. So Prabhupada said, how can we spread spiritual knowledge to the world if first of all India is being subjugated by the British Empire? First we need to be free, we need to be independent of British rule. Then we'll be able to spread the wealth of India, the treasure of India, which is the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. And actually Bhaktisiddhanta, the Guru replied, he replied that Krishna consciousness is so important that it cannot wait. It is so important, it is so urgent that it cannot wait. Politicians will change, but politics will remain. Today is the British Empire, tomorrow is somebody else. But the problems will always go on. But the main thing is spirituality has to be put in the forefront. And that's so urgent. And that was what really impressed Prabhupada, and you can say that may have been his turning point in life. After meeting his spiritual master, and he accepted him as a guru, and accepted his instructions, his advice. Someone who's representing the Lord himself, and therefore you cannot go wrong that way. And you can attain the most spiritual success in that way. So yeah, that's just a few thoughts from the books. Yeah, if anybody has any questions regarding these things, or any comments or corrections like that. So thank you all so much for your participation. Thank you for your eagerly listening. And yeah, so next we'll be having the Gora Aarti. So every day we have a Gora Aarti at 7. And yeah, so we'll all be chanting and dancing like that. So just a bit about Kirtan. So Kirtan is a process to glorify Krishna, to connect with Krishna, and by chanting his holy names. And this is a mood we try to develop our love for Krishna. Chanting Hare Krishna is we're calling out, we're actually crying out to Krishna. We're trying to develop that, at least. Trying to develop that crying mood, because we don't have that. We're disconnected. So we try to calling out for that, to develop love for God. And Kirtan, how it goes is one person responds and the other person, the whole group sings. So there's a main leader, he chants, then the whole group chants like that. So yeah, let's chant and dance and have a good time. And yeah, thank you all so much once again. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Nectar of Instruction Upadesh Amrita by Rupa Goswami ki. Jai.
Sorry about that. Not really sure. I think you can sit under Yeah. Are you going to be saying that? Do you want to say? Yeah. Playing Mridanga? I don't know who's playing Mridanga though. Jai Radha Gokula Nando Radha Gokula Nando Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda Radha Gokula Nanda Shri Radhe
Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe Jai Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe
Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe Jayo Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Jayo Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Nitai go Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai go Hari Bol Nitai go Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai go Hari Bol Nitai go Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai go Hari Bol Nitai go Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Ki Bajeo Jaya Guru Chande Haroti Kushobha Ki Bajeo Jaya Guru Chande Haroti Kushobha Jana Vitatavane Yogamana Loba Jana Vitatavane Yogamana Loba
নিতাই চন্মে গদাধর নিকটে